It all began on a cloudy Tuesday morning when whispers filled the small town of Ridgefield. The news had spread like wildfire. 85 bikers were rumbling down the streets, their engines echoing through every alley. People thought trouble was coming. But no one knew that those bikers weren't here to fight, they were here to protect. Inside the courthouse, a single mother named Monica Hayes sat nervously, her hands trembling. She wasn't a criminal. She was a mother who had done everything right, except for one thing: she'd stood up for her son against the wrong people. Now, she faced losing him. When the courtroom doors opened, the crowd gasped. The sound of heavy boots, the smell of motor oil, and the presence of raw power filled the air. 85 bikers, all wearing leather jackets with the same patch, walked in silence. They didn't speak. They simply stood behind Monica, their eyes fixed on the judge. No one had ever seen anything like it. Monica had raised her boy, Darius, alone after her husband passed away. She worked double shifts, washed dishes at night, and still found time to help her son with homework. But when Darius stood up against a bully at school, a boy from a powerful family, everything spiraled out of control. The boy's parents pressed charges. They painted Darius as a troublemaker, and Monica as an unfit mother. She didn't have money for a lawyer. She didn't have connections. All she had was love, and that wasn't enough in a courtroom that didn't seem to care. Until the bikers came. One of them, Tank, had known Monica years ago. She had once helped his daughter when nobody else would. And now, he had called his brothers. They weren't there to intimidate. They were there to remind the world that good people still protect what's right. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Who are they?" he asked sharply. Monica turned, her voice soft but steady. "They're my friends." The prosecutor scoffed, whispering something about gangs, but the leader of the bikers stepped forward. Tank's deep voice carried through the courtroom like thunder. "We're not here to cause trouble. We're here because this woman has done more good in this town than anyone you'll ever meet." Silence fell. Every word felt like a strike of justice. The judge looked down, unsure how to proceed. Even the guards seemed frozen. It wasn't fear that filled the room, it was respect. Monica's eyes watered. For the first time in months, she didn't feel alone. Tank told the story that silenced everyone. Years ago, his daughter had gone missing. No one helped him. No police, no neighbors. Only Monica, who was then just a waitress, had organized volunteers, searched the woods, and refused to give up. They found the girl safe because of her. "You can call us what you want," Tank said, "but this woman saved a life. And now she's being treated like a criminal." The judge shifted in his chair. The prosecutor tried to interrupt, but even the audience turned against him. Every biker's face told the same story: they weren't angels, but they believed in justice. The judge finally said, "Mr. Tank, this is a court of law." Tank nodded. "Exactly, Your Honor. And that's why we're here, to remind you that law without humanity means nothing." The courtroom buzzed with emotion. Monica could barely speak. Her son looked up, eyes filled with pride. The bikers stood quietly, forming a wall of protection. People who once whispered about them now saw them differently, not as outlaws, but as guardians. One biker, an older man with tears in his eyes, said softly, "She fed me when I had nothing. I don't forget kindness." The judge paused the hearing, visibly moved. The tension in the air turned into reflection. What began as a case about discipline had become a story about community. For once, everyone in that room realized what justice should feel like. When the court resumed, the prosecutor tried one last time to prove Monica unfit. He showed pictures, papers, arguments. But every accusation fell flat against the mountain of compassion behind her. Then, Monica finally spoke. Her voice was steady, even as tears welled up. "I may not have much," she said, "but I have raised my son to know right from wrong. And I will never apologize for teaching him to stand up for himself." The courtroom went still. Even the judge leaned back, deep in thought. Sometimes, the truth doesn't need to shout, it only needs to be spoken with heart. Outside the courthouse, people had gathered. News cameras rolled. Reporters asked who the bikers were. One simply said, "We're family. Not by blood, but by loyalty." The story spread like wildfire, on social media, on local news, across the nation. Bikers Defend Single Mother became a symbol of hope in dark times. Strangers began donating money to help Monica with her legal fees. The prosecutor's tone softened, and even the judge's eyes seemed to carry regret. Something bigger than a case was unfolding. It was a reminder that kindness, when repaid, can shake the world. The final hearing day arrived. The courtroom was packed, standing room only. The bikers lined the back again, silent but powerful. Monica held her son's hand tightly. The judge cleared his throat and said, "This court has seen many things, but today, it has seen something greater than law. It has seen humanity." The case was dismissed. Monica was free. Her son's name was cleared. The courtroom erupted in applause. The bikers didn't cheer, they simply nodded, their mission complete. Monica fell to her knees, overwhelmed by gratitude. The judge quietly stepped down and shook her hand. "You reminded me," he said softly, "why I became a judge." Outside, the sun broke through the clouds. Monica hugged every biker one by one. Tank placed his leather jacket over her shoulders and said, "You'll always have family with us." Tears streamed down her face. Darius looked up at them all and said, "Mom, are they heroes?" Monica smiled. "Yes," she whispered, "the kind that don't wear capes." The engines roared again as the bikers rode away, a wave of thunder fading into the horizon. The crowd clapped, phones recorded, hearts were moved. For once, everyone in that small town believed in something pure again. Months later, Monica's life changed. She opened a community kitchen, funded by donations and supported by those same bikers. People came not just for food, but for hope. On the wall above the door was a sign that read, "Kindness is stronger than fear." Every Sunday, Tank and his crew would visit, helping to serve meals. Darius grew into a young man who volunteered at youth centers, teaching kids that strength comes from compassion. The world remembered that day, not as a spectacle, but as a story of unity. 85 bikers didn't storm a courtroom for fame. They did it for love. And what they said silenced the judge, because sometimes, silence is the sound of hearts awakening.